The Stadium of Domitian, also called the Circus Agonalis, was a very famous building in ancient Rome. It is located north of the Campus Martius, and currently built on top of its remains is the Piazza Navona. The Stadium of Domitian was commissioned around 80 A.D. by the Emperor Titus Flavius Domitianus. Finished, it was dedicated in 86 A.D. as part of an imperial building program at the Campus Martius, or the Field of Mars, following the fire of Rome. The stadium became Rome's first ever permanent venue for athletics. Patterned after a Greek model before it, it seated 15 to 20,000 people. This was more appropriate for a place where one came to watch human foot races, as opposed to the capacity crowd of 200,000 that could be packed into the Circus Maximus to watch chariot races and such events. As far as materials went, the stadium's substructures and support frames were made of brick and concrete, a robust, fire-retardant material which seemed necessary after many of the buildings of the Campus Martius were burned down in 79 A.D. by the fire of Rome. Stylistically, the stadium facades would have resembled those of the Colosseum, while its floor plan was a smaller version of the U-shape of the Circus Maximus. Modern estimates put the length of the arena at about 200 to 250 meters. Its outer perimeter benches sat about 100 meters high, while its lower benches for the upper-class folks were about 15 meters above the arena floor. This arrangement gave everyone in attendance a good view of the contests. The kind of contests people would come to see at the Stadium of Domitian were almost exclusively athletic contests, such as foot races, jumping or leaping, or even perhaps Quintus's discus throwing, although that would have most likely been confined to gymnasia. For a few years after fire damage to the Colosseum in 217 A.D., it was used for gladiator shows. The arcades beneath the stadium were used as brothels in some times, and according to Christian legend, St. Agnes was put to death in or near one of the arcades during the reign of Emperor Diocletian. Today, the remaining arcades are merely a tourist site, as they are all that remains today. Sadly, what happened was the stadium lost its old use as people began to live in its arcades following the barbarian invasion. Then, in the Renaissance era, the remaining parts were robbed and used to build new things. Today, the Roman Piazza Navona sits over the stadium's interior, and a sweep of buildings, such as the Church of St. Agnes, around the piazza incorporate the stadium's lower arcades.